The spotlight burned like an interrogation lamp, pinning us in the center of the ballroom as the orchestra swelled into our first dance. My white gown whispered against the polished oak floor, and Mark's hand pressed warm against my back, his fingers tracing the lace that hid the scar from my childhood accident, a secret only he knew. The guests' faces blurred into a halo of smiles, champagne flutes raised in toast. I leaned into him, inhaling the crisp scent of his cologne mixed with a faint tang of nervousness on his breath. "This is perfect," I whispered, my heart fluttering like the petals in my bouquet. Then his lips brushed my ear. His voice a low rumble meant only for me. "This dance is for the woman I've secretly loved for the past 10 years. My world tilted. Time stretched, the violins screeching into discord in my mind. His eyes, those deep brown pools I'd drowned in for 5 years, flickered with something raw: regret, relief. The sentence hung unfinished, but the implication exploded in my chest like shrapnel. Not me. It wasn't me. Fury surged first, a white-hot blade twisting in my gut. My smile froze, a mask cracking under the weight of humiliation. The room spun, Aunt Clara dabbing tears, my best friend Lena clapping with glee, oblivious to the bomb detonating in my soul. How dare he? On our wedding day. I pulled back slightly, my nails digging into his shoulder through his tuxedo. "What did you just say?" I hissed, my voice a venomous whisper lost in the applause. Mark's face paled, his Adam's apple bobbing as he swallowed. "Elena, I didn't mean, it's not what you think." But his eyes darted to the edge of the dance floor, where Sarah, his college ex, my supposed friend, stood in her emerald bridesmaid dress, her red hair catching the light like a siren's flame. She'd been there all along, lingering in photos, in late-night work calls, in the just friends excuses I'd swallowed like bitter pills. Heartbreak crashed over me next, a tidal wave drowning the anger. 10 years. We'd met 6 years ago, built a life on shared dreams, the cozy apartment in Brooklyn, weekends hiking in the Catskills, whispered plans for kids. Was it all a lie? My throat tightened, tears pricking like needles. I forced a laugh for the crowd, twirling under his arm as the music crescendoed, but inside resentment festered. How many nights had he lain beside me, thinking of her? The betrayal wasn't just words. It was a decade of deception, etched into every memory. We finished the dance to thunderous cheers, my legs numb as we retreated to the head table. The clink of silverware and murmur of conversations buzzed like static. Mark squeezed my hand under the tablecloth, his palm slick with sweat. "Later," he muttered. "I'll explain." But his gaze kept slipping to Sarah, who hovered nearby, her laughter too bright, too forced. In the bridal suite upstairs, away from the revelry, I paced the carpeted floor, the train of my dress dragging like chains. Denial clawed at me first. Maybe I'd misheard, the champagne fuzzing my ears. But no, his words replayed in high definition, each syllable a fresh wound. I stared at my reflection in the gilded mirror, mascara-smudged eyes, lips pressed into a thin line of rage. Who was this woman? Not the beaming bride from hours ago, but a vessel of shattered illusions. Fantasies of justice bloomed unbidden. I imagined storming back downstairs, grabbing the microphone during toasts, exposing him in front of everyone. His parents, her family, our mutual friends. "Ladies and gentlemen, the groom has a confession." The shock on their faces would be delicious, a balm to my humiliation. But doubt crept in, cold and insidious. What if it ruined me too? The pitying stares, the whispers of "poor Elena," couldn't keep her man. No, revenge needed to be sharper, more personal. I sank onto the velvet chaise, guilt gnawing at the edges. Was I overreacting? Marriages had secrets. Maybe this was just a slip, a drunken lapse. But the obsession took root. 10 years. Sarah had been his first love, the one who got away after a messy breakup. I'd met her through him, bonded over wine nights, even confided in her about our engagement jitters. Had she known? Laughed behind my back. A knock startled me. Lena poked her head in, her curly hair disheveled from dancing. "Hey, bride. You okay? Mark's looking for you." Her concern was genuine, but I forced a smile. "Just freshening up. Tell him I'll be down soon." As she left, I rifled through my purse, fingers brushing my phone. A quick search, his old emails perhaps. But no, that was paranoia. Or was it prudence? Back at the reception, the cake cutting felt like a farce. The knife sliced through layers of vanilla and raspberry, mirroring the cleave in my heart. Mark's hand guided mine, his whisper urgent. "Elena, please. It was a mistake. Meant you. The past 10 years include you. Liar." His eyes betrayed him, flicking to Sarah again as she adjusted her necklace, a silver locket I'd seen him give her years ago as a friendship gift. Humiliation burned anew as we fed each other bites, the crowd cooing. I chewed mechanically, the sweetness cloying on my tongue. Inside, resentment hardened into resolve. This wasn't ending with tears. It would end on my terms. That night, in our honeymoon suite overlooking the city lights, Mark tried to explain. The room smelled of roses and regret, the king-sized bed an unspoken battlefield. Sarah and we reconnected last year. Emotionally. Nothing physical, I swear. His voice cracked, hands gesturing helplessly. "I love you, Elena. This us is real. Reconnected." I echoed, my tone flat, masking the storm. Heartbreak twisted into obsession as he spilled details. Late-night texts, coffee meetups disguised as work. "She understands me in ways." He trailed off, but the implication hung heavy. Ways I didn't. The woman who'd supported him through job loss, who planned this wedding down to the napkin folds. Anger flared, but I swallowed it, feigning understanding. We'll work through it." My words were honeyed, but inside, plans germinated. Doubt whispered, "Forgive him." But no, the betrayal was too deep, a rot in our foundation. Over the next weeks, back in our apartment, the slow burn began. I played the dutiful wife, cooking his favorite meals. Pasta carbonara with extra bacon, the scent filling our kitchen like a false peace. But at night, alone in the bathroom, I'd stare at the mirror, tracing the lines of my face, imagining Sarah's superimposed. Resentment fueled fantasies. Keying her car, spreading rumors at her office. But those were petty. I needed something that would scar as deeply as he'd scarred me. Guilt pricked when Mark brought home flowers, his eyes pleading. "I'm ending it with her. For us." But his phone buzzed incessantly, her name flashing. I hacked it one afternoon while he showered, the steam fogging the mirror as I scrolled through messages. "Can't stop thinking about you. Our dance was magical." Our dance. The wedding one. My blood boiled, humiliation reigniting. Obsession took hold. I followed Sarah on social media, her posts a gallery of perfection. Yoga poses on beaches, cryptic quotes about forbidden love. Each like from Mark was a dagger. Inner conflict raged. Was I becoming the villain? But no, this was justice. Moral qualms surfaced in quiet moments. Revenge would taint me, but forgiveness would destroy me. One evening, over wine on our balcony, the city hummed below like a distant heartbeat, I probed subtly. "Tell me about those 10 years. What made her so special?" Mark hesitated, the glass trembling in his hand. "She was my first everything. Passionate, unpredictable. Unlike me, the stable one." His words fueled my cold resolve. That night, I began planning in earnest, notebook hidden under the mattress. Her routines, his vulnerabilities. Suspense built in stolen glances. Did he suspect? At a dinner party with friends, Sarah was there, her laughter tinkling like broken glass. She hugged me too tightly, whispering, "You two are goals." Manipulation. Or genuine. Her eyes held secrets, motivations layered. Jealousy of my life, perhaps, or guilt for stealing it. As weeks turned to months, my emotional journey deepened. Denial faded. Heartbreak morphed into resentment. Fantasies evolved from violent outbursts to calculated strikes. Fear flickered. What if I got caught? but obsession drowned it. I researched discreetly. Anonymous tips, digital footprints. The apartment felt claustrophobic, every creak a potential eavesdropper. One rainy afternoon, alone in a coffee shop, the aroma of espresso grounding me, I drafted an email from a burner account to her boss, hinting at embezzlement with fabricated evidence from public records. Doubt halted me too far. Moral conflict churned. She wasn't innocent, but was this me? I deleted it, heart pounding. Instead, I opted for subtlety. Invited her for girls' night. The wine flowing as rain pelted the windows. Mark mentioned you two were close once, I said casually, watching her flush. Ancient history, she lied, her fingers twisting the locket. Tension thickened, suppressed rage simmering beneath my smile. That night back home, Mark confessed more. They'd kissed once months ago. I'm sorry. Guilt etched his face, but it was too late. My resolve crystallized. Revenge would be poetic, striking at their shared secret. The plan unfolded like a shadow lengthening at dusk. Quiet and inevitable. I started small, planting seeds of doubt. At work, I accidentally forwarded an email chain to Sarah. Old messages from Mark, gushing about her, mixed with ones complaining about me. Sent to the wrong S. I texted her apologetically. Her reply was curt. No worries. But I imagined her pulse racing, trust fracturing. Inner turmoil raged as I executed each step. Obsession consumed my days. I'd wake from dreams of confrontation, sheets tangled like restraints. Guilt whispered during mundane moments, folding laundry, his socks evoking memories of happier times. Was revenge worth my soul? But resentment overpowered, a fire fed by every lie uncovered. Cinematic details sharpened my focus. The click of my heels on subway tiles as I tailed Sarah to her apartment, the neon signs reflecting in puddles like fractured promises. She lived in a sleek high-rise, doorman nodding as she entered. I lingered outside, rain soaking my coat, planning the next move. Dialogue became my weapon. Over breakfast, pancakes sizzling on the griddle, I confronted Mark indirectly. Do you ever regret us? His fork paused mid-air, syrup dripping. What? No, Elena. Why? His eyes searched mine, fear lurking. Just thinking about secrets, I replied, smiling sweetly. Tension coiled, unspoken accusations hanging like smoke. Sarah's motivations revealed themselves gradually. A late-night call from her, voice slurred with wine. Elena, we need to talk. Mark's confused. Manipulation dripped from her words. He's always loved me. Heartbreak resurfaced, but I feigned shock. Come over. She arrived disheveled, makeup streaked, confessing their affair. Sporadic, emotional. I didn't mean to hurt you. Liar. Her tears were crocodile, hiding a core of entitlement. She'd pursued him, jealous of our stability. Layered complexity emerged. Mark wasn't a monster, just weak, torn by guilt. I love you both, he admitted one stormy evening. Thunder rumbling as we argued in the living room. Bookshelves loomed like judges, shadows dancing on walls. That's not love, I spat, rage boiling over. But inside doubt. Could I salvage this? No, the betrayal was irreparable. Suspense mounted as I escalated. I hacked his accounts, passwords guessed from shared memories, and leaked subtle hints online, anonymous posts on forums about cheating grooms. Friends whispered, eyes pitying at gatherings. Mark grew paranoid, checking his phone obsessively. Someone's out to get me, he muttered, pacing the hardwood floors that creaked under his weight. Fear gripped me during quiet calculations. In bed, his breathing even beside me, I'd plot. Expose them at a mutual event. Or something more intimate. Moral conflict peaked. Revenge felt justified, but gray. I'd become the deceiver. The turning point came at Lena's birthday party. Fairy lights twinkling in her backyard. The air thick with barbecue smoke and laughter. Sarah was there, arm linked with a date, but her eyes locked on Mark. I watched from the shadows, cocktail in hand, the ice clinking like countdown ticks. Subtle foreshadowing paid off. Earlier, I'd slipped a note into Sarah's purse during a hug. "I know everything." Now she fidgeted, glancing around. Mark approached her by the fire pit, flames casting demonic glows on their faces. I eavesdropped from behind a hedge, leaves rustling softly. "We have to end this," he whispered urgently. "Elena's suspicious." Sarah's laugh was bitter. "Too late. She deserves to know." My heart pounded, obsession peaking. This was my cue. But instead of confronting, I waited, letting tension simmer. Days later, the retaliation ignited. I arranged a reconciliation dinner at our favorite Italian spot, candles flickering on checkered tablecloths, the aroma of garlic and tomato sauce masking deceit. Mark and Sarah arrived separately, confused. "What's this?" Mark asked, chair scraping as he sat. "Closure," I said calmly, pouring wine with steady hands. Dialogue flowed naturally, laced with suppressed rage. "Tell me the truth. All of it." They exchanged glances, motivations clashing. Mark's guilt versus Sarah's defiance. Confessions tumbled. The affair spanning months, hidden weekends, the wedding whisper a Freudian slip of unresolved love. Humiliation crested, but I channeled it into cold resolve. "Thank you," I said, standing. "Now enjoy the meal." I left, heart racing, but not before tipping the waiter generously. Outside, rain slicked the streets, reflecting city lights like shattered glass. The real revenge. I'd recorded everything. Hidden mic in my purse. Back home, I edited it meticulously. The computers hum a symphony of vengeance. The payoff struck like lightning. I sent the audio anonymously to their workplaces, families, friends. Not destructive lies, but raw truth. Their voices betraying themselves. Mark's boss heard his excuses for sick days. Sarah's parents her admissions. Chaos ensued. Calls flooded in, Mark pleading. "Elena, what have you done?" His voice broke, guilt mirroring mine. Sarah's texts. "You're a monster." But was I? Her pursuit had been calculated. His weakness complicit. The twist unfolded unexpectedly. As fallout mounted, Mark fired for ethical breaches, Sarah ostracized. I discovered a hidden email chain. 10 years ago, Sarah had cheated on him first, driving their breakup. His secret love was obsession, not affection, a toxic cycle. My revenge had freed him. Or damned us all. In the empty apartment, boxes packed, I stared at the wedding photo, glass cracked. Heartbreak lingered, but resolve won. Poetic justice. They'd destroyed each other, and I'd walked away, scarred but unbowed. Yet guilt echoed. Was this victory or mutual ruin? The door clicked shut behind me, rain washing the streets clean. Revenge tasted bittersweet, a cold wind carrying whispers of what might have been.